A funny story. I ended up getting kicked out of a data center one time, and for whatever reason, we were still waiting on somebody to do his job, and it was like 2 days in, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have to ask you guys to leave." We're sitting in the lunchroom, and they're like, "Yeah, your time's expired. Like, you guys are supposed to only be here for this amount of time." So I always joke that I've gotten kicked out of a data center, but it's not like because I did anything wrong. If you don't make money in the first 2 to 3 years of doing this, it's a hobby. You can't call it business that constantly loses money.
What's your advice if somebody wants to start a business right now? What would your advice be?
Investing in your brand is one of the best things that you can do.
Welcome to another episode of What is Your Story? My name is Louis Sarkis, your host, where we interview on my podcast of What is Your Story, where we interview some amazing entrepreneurs and business owners in the Valley so we can learn from them, get inspired and motivated. And today we have Jordan Shaw, which he is a California-based keynote speaker, entrepreneur, and leader with a 17-year career in IT at Fortune companies like Dell and Google. Jordan made a bold pivot into solar energy, building an 8-figure business through his company nationwide and earning a seat on the National Advisory Council at Power. Welcome, Jordan!
Thank you. Appreciate it, Louis. Thanks
What
for
is
having
all
me
that? Come on, what is your story?
A little bit of definitely a long story, that's for sure.
We got 30 minutes.
Oh, darn it. I got to go ahead and I got to accelerate it a little bit. Yeah, sure.
No, really. We want to hear your story, man. How did you get into this business and why?
Oh, absolutely. So as you already stated, I had a long track record in the IT space, and I still find it a passion of mine, really. I keep up with some of the technology, the stuff with AI, things that are actually happening right now, because energy and technology kind of go hand in hand.
Yes.
And what I discovered was that as I was going through the technology landscape, working for these companies, is these data centers consumed vast amounts of power. Homeowners were consuming more and more power. And our team really were one of the first ones to go solar in our hometown of Brunswick, Maryland. I literally had an email come into my inbox the day of our solar installation. This was more than a decade ago at this point, saying "Men Dancing on Your Roof." That was the title. Which is so funny when I look at it, because we were the first ones to get solar in our community.
Really?
And what ended up happening was I started to get a ton of different questions on it, decided to get really smart, because I had two options, right?
Yeah.
I could either ignore the questions and go, I don't know, and then just end up, just sending them somewhere else, or I could get smart and just answer them. And what happened was that evolved into just like a hobby and a passion, which then fast forward to about 2017, I decided to start my business.
Okay.
And then a few years, 2 to 3 years later, I ended up going full time into the industry. Actually, it was about 3 years later or so. And so now I've been 5 to 6 years in at this juncture into this industry that is solar. And it's a heck of a roller coaster. But the reason I got involved with it to begin with was out of a necessity, because people were asking me the questions. And I'm just that kind of guy that, like, hey, if I'm interested in something, I'm going to go ahead and find the answer. And I want to be that go-to person.
You became the energy man.
Yeah.
Right? So you were like the consultant. You knew everything about energy.
Yeah.
And so what happened after that?
After that, it's been definitely a whirlwind over the last 5 years. So I was working within the Google landscape. I was actually contracted to Google, which was just an eye-opening experience, working with some of the top name brands. I'm not going to mention any of them, but companies that you buy every single day. I was walking in the door talking about this technology and helping them go to the cloud with Google. And some of my favorite time was with working with Dell, and I got a chance to meet Michael, and that was really just a highlight of my career. Frankly, was working with him when I was in Dell in the federal civilian space.
Yeah.
Once I fast forward, I decided just to kind of exit the industry. A lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, what did you do? You're making 6 figures in IT. You were doing really, really well. You jumped into entrepreneurship in sales, right? And into solar, which is construction. It's completely different." And the reason behind that was I just kind of saw a better way. I saw all these different clients and homeowners and businesses. They were looking for answers in a technology landscape that was just honestly riddled with other professionals, do that in quotation marks, where they were more like the solar bros. They were just the ones that were in it for the commission. They would fly into an area, they'd door knock and fly out, and they never had real ties within the community. And what ended up setting me apart was that homeowners were like, hey, he's not salesy. It's not a hard pitch. He's going to set you up right. Those were the reoccurring themes. And all of a sudden, I mean, you can look on like Temecula Talk and Marietta Talk and some of the other Facebook pages that are out there. But I get tagged a lot from my prior clients because that was the rapport that I built with them. Does it mean that we've done it right every single time? Absolutely not. It's construction. My intent is not to have a water feature in your living room, right?
Yeah.
But when you're drilling holes in rooftops, things happen. But it's all about how we show up in those moments that matters the most, right? And anybody that's in construction in this space, whether it's solar or otherwise, like a general contractor, like things can happen when it comes to that.
Things can
like
happen for sure.
yeah, for sure. But that's the reason why I got involved was I just wanted to have the capability to help these clients of mine understand what was right for them. And then I also wanted a little bit more time freedom and location freedom. I was really flying all over the place for my other job. I spent 6 years basically away from home with a startup that I was at before it was acquired by Google. And that's a long time. And
What are some of the places you flew to?
I was all over the map. Like and you would say, oh, what's the most exciting place I had gone to? I actually I was down in Guadalajara, Mexico. That was interesting.
Yeah.
And then I also had to do a job in Jamaica, which was interesting as well. That was like, we paid the taxi driver to basically stay there the entire day for the data center. And the data center was just like, you want to call it a data center.
Yeah.
Those are two of the most interesting places that I've been. But I've been all over the US through I know airport codes, like the back, like just by memory. Like I know which routes actually, like which airlines take what and which are major hubs and stuff. But I've been everywhere.
You probably have a lot of points.
I had a lot of points, yes. I burned them, absolutely. But I have like lifetime Marriott status. I love staying with Marriott.
That's awesome.
That's a lot of fun. Over like 700 nights with Marriott.
Can I have some?
Yeah, I know. It's like, hey, if I book for you, apparently my status ends up translating. So I'll hook you up. Yeah, absolutely. But I've been all over the map, and to some places where just in the middle of nowhere, you're like Ohio, where you just get data centers that pop up, or there's a funny story. I ended up getting kicked out of a data center one time.
Why?
It had nothing to do with anything I had done. We were at a financial institution that shouldn't be named, but they do a lot of transactions online. And so they do trading. And so you're only allowed to go on the floor of the data center at night, like after close of business.
Yeah.
So after trades are done and all of that. And for whatever reason, we were still waiting on somebody to do his job. And it was like 2 days in, and then they're like, hey, we're going to have to ask you guys to leave. We're sitting in the lunchroom. Like we've been sitting, waiting on somebody else to do their job. And they're like, yeah, your time's expired. Like you guys are supposed to only be here for this amount of time. So I always joke that I've gotten kicked out of a data center, but it's not like because I did anything wrong.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Good. So fast forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started your business in what year?
So it was 2017, formally. And then I went full time with working with my strategic partners in 2021.
Okay.
So it was actually September 2021. We kicked it off, started running. It actually took me about another 9 to 12 months after that just to kind of gear it up, because I was having my daughter. So she had heart surgery coming up, but we had a lot of things going on. So we had a lot of changes within that time frame. But I started my business just to be able to really go full time, to be able to have a little bit more of that time freedom, which anybody that's an entrepreneur knows is like you're working 60, 70, 80 hours for yourself. So you don't have to work 40 for somebody else. Right. But that's when I ended up starting my business.
Do you recommend somebody starting a business?
I mean, it's definitely not for everybody.
What's your advice if somebody wants to start a business right now? What would your advice be?
Investing in your brand is one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah.
It takes, and the trick with that is it takes time to do that.
It does.
It takes a repeat reoccurrence. A lot of people just think that you can start a business and all of a sudden it just manifests. And really what happens is you go through waves. So depending on if you have a retail establishment versus if you're more of like services and sales like mine, is like you'll have that initial 2-year wave or so of just new clients and referrals coming in. And And then all of a sudden you have to start working for it a little bit harder to continue to start bridging out, right? You'll have this kind of wave and then it kind of comes down. And my advice would be like, get a lot of smart people around you, set up your LLCs right, pay more attention to taxes because you will have to figure that out. And hire people. If you're not smart on the branding side, hire somebody to do it.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's really, it is like, make sure that you're constantly involved with your clients and asking for referrals. But it's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So tell us about your business. So walk us through a scenario. Somebody's looking for a solar system in their house or business. They reach out to you. What do you guys do?
So absolutely. So Shaw Energy Consulting, which is my business arm for all things energy, essentially. People reach out to me, and then I have a strategic network of contractors that I work with, professionals in the space. Solar has been kind of the Wild West over the last year. We've seen 4 out of 10 solar companies go out of business. We just 2 weeks ago, as of this recording, we just saw one right here in Temecula fold they were within 40 states, which is pretty crazy. So what our team does is we shift and look at kind of what the landscape looks like, and we set our clients up with the right strategic partner, and we'll do the design work a lot of time. We'll find the financing. We'll work through. We're more of what we call a concierge energy advisor.
Okay.
So if you were to ask me kind of what we do, it's not a traditional solar sale, if you will, right? Where you're just like, oh, you're knocking on my door. Like, no, it's very rare that that's what we're doing. We're usually being referred out by our clients to say, I really love working with this team.
I love it.
And our team actually works over a dozen different states at this point. I have active projects in Hawaii all the way through Maryland. I do.
What part of Hawaii?
Hawaii. Right now I have Oahu. We have a couple of clients we're working with. A couple installations actually in Maui personally. Our family photographer who took our photos that I've posted online. We got to go get some new ones. She trusted us with going solar.
Nice.
I have a couple of other clients on Big Island right now. Yep.
So I love Maui.
Our partner.
Have you been there?
Oh yeah, I've been to Maui. I've been to Oahu, and I've been to Kauai. I have not been to the Big Island yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been to Big Island too.
Yeah. Is it cool?
You'd love it. You'd love it.
Okay.
I recommend it.
Okay, definitely.
So most of your businesses are commercial or residential?
We are heavy on the residential side because there was a lot of noise around the solar search. So that's really kind of what we do is we cut that noise out.
So, all right. So let's say I'm looking for solar for my house. I call you up and say, hey, Jordan, come over, please. Can I have an appointment with you? Come over, tell me exactly what I need. What would you do first?
Absolutely. So I'm going to obviously ask for your utility bill. I'm going to take a look at your footprint on your roof. I'm going to ask you just some qualifying questions related to, hey, do you have a pool in the back? Are you planning to put one in? Are you getting an electric vehicle with gas prices the way there are? Yeah, things like that. We're going to talk through those types
matters,
of scenarios.
right? Pool and
it
electric
does.
car. Okay.
It does, because those types of heavy usage components, like those types of that is key. That can swing a solar system like in one direction. So like an average EV needs another 6 to 9 solar panels on the roof, just if you're doing general driving.
Nice.
Not including if you're going down to San Diego and back. Like, so I have a lot of military clients. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
They're coming in from Winchester and they're going down to Camp Pendleton, or they're going, somewhere else. And when they do that drive, a lot of times it's in the early hours of the morning at like 4 o'clock. They got to leave their house and drive down. And if they're driving an electric vehicle, well, they have to be able to charge their car.
Yeah.
And the way that solar in the industry works now is Edison doesn't want us to ship that energy to the grid. We have to store it on site.
Oh.
So the only time that they can charge is overnight, which is, when you have solar, technically the worst time you could actually utilize it is nighttime, because we have to bank it. So I have to make sure the system size is proper for batteries to ship it into those batteries so they can drive, and then we just start that dance over again. So it's like habits. So I'm going to ask you about your habits. Are you driving? How far do you go? Is it just kind of local? Like, is somebody always home? How many people do we have in the house? We're going to do our due diligence to figure out exactly what size solar system is needed.
Okay.
And that's really the key, is we're
I've always had this wondered, and I had a question. I'm sure you're the expert on it. So is it cheaper to charge your car at home or charge it outside? I've always wondered about that.
That's a great question. So that kind of goes into kind of where the industry is shifting right now. So we see a lot of chargers popping up kind of as for a network, right?
Yeah.
And It is actually less expensive to charge it at home.
Is it?
It is. It is, yes, because you have an EV rate at the house.
Okay.
Now, you have to think of it like this, though. You're shifting from basically going to the pump a lot of times to fill up the car to being able to have the luxury of having it in your garage.
Yes.
Not everybody has that. So think of it kind of like renters, especially apartment complexes, or if you're traveling.
That's right.
That's where the supercharger network comes in.
Yes.
So it's the renters, where they live in an apartment complex, they don't have level 2 charging. That's what it is when it's in your garage. They want to go to level 3 charging, which is the fast chargers.
Yeah.
Right now, this is kind of a fun thing here, is that we actually are on a fun fact, we're on a trajectory for needing additional chargers on the network because we actually are forecasted to need over 60,000 DC fast chargers in California just over the next 8 to 10 years.
So you guys are installing those now?
Yes, we are. Our strategic partners and we're working with companies like Tesla and others to actually get that installed. Like we work with their engineering, we work with certified partners. We don't resell specifically those. We're working and qualifying the sites in order to actually incorporate those, which is really, we have a lot of gas station owners that are
So
that are
the
looking
good
at
thing
those.
about it is like you take care of everything. Like, we'll just call you, you come in, and you take all the information, you go back, and then, a day later, or whatever, you come back and say, okay, this is what I can offer you, a couple of ideas, a couple of systems, and then what?
Yeah. So at that point, we're basically helping you get on to the next step, which is we're qualifying you. Obviously, if financing is needed, we figure out, well, do you want to own it? Do you want to obviously do maybe a rent to own situation?
Is it easy to get financing?
Financing is super easy on the solar side.
Okay.
But financing is interesting too. There's been a lot of different nuances with solar financing that we're figuring out. So if you want to kind of hear a little bit more about that, like we went into that on one of the other podcasts I was on. And it was like, we're talking about like the easiness of transferring these loans or lack thereof. And so financing with solar is like, it's very easy to get qualified, but each of the banks kind of have their own rules.
Oh, okay.
So where this comes in basically is when I'm working with like real estate agents, and I work with like 500 plus. Okay. They like all have my number. And it's because I'm looking at contracts and figuring out, what is going to be able to be transferred. We have these loans that like where we were told they were going to transfer.
Yeah.
They're not in escrow because either the company that was doing the servicing either went bankrupt or they changed their terms, just different nuances. And you're like, where was that? So
what happens in that case?
In that case, a lot of times they get paid off, which is not a bad
from the sale of the house. Whatever.
Exactly. It's not a bad thing. I really love owned solar versus leased solar, but each one has its own nuances. I mean, as these solar systems get bigger and bigger, there's a lot more loan, like nobody's really taking loans for those. Like when it's batteries and the size of those, and it's like, it's a whole different landscape versus when it was just solar and no batteries. Definitely. So it's kind of the cost. So just to give you an idea, like if you have a low interest loan from a solar system, because I had this happen recently, a lot of times that low interest loan, nobody really wants to transfer that one because of the way the interest rates are right now. So if you have like a 2.5% loan and the market rate of interest rates is 8.99,
I know
they're going to want you to pay that off because they don't want to really carry the note at 3%. Like what does that make? 2.5 to 3% doesn't make sense. So there's different nuances that we're figuring out with this. So what we're seeing right now is a return kind of a power purchase agreements or more commonly now, what we call prepaid leases. And what it is because the tax credits ended up going away at the end of last year, it stayed around for the commercial tax credit.
Oh,
so we're seeing a rush to the commercial tax credit deadline, which is now July 5th.
Actually, my next question was going to be tax credit. So there's no more tax credit right now for residential.
Traditionally, yes.
Okay.
There is a little bit of a loophole in this where what we're finding is if you do a prepaid lease, you let a third-party entity depreciate the asset for the first 5 years. They're giving anywhere between 22 to 40% discount on the system. So it's as if the tax credit never vanished. But there's only a little bit of a window of opportunity, and a lot of these entities have what we call safe harbored the equipment per IRS dead requirements. What that means is they've pre-purchased all the hardware so that way they can offer you this discount. It's kind of an advanced concept and everybody's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And it's like, okay, so you can do a traditional PPA where you don't own it. They get all the tax breaks You don't have a loan or anything, but it's like a pay per kilowatt hour arrangement. That works for some people. But when I show them this other option of a prepaid with up to a 40% discount and I'm able to finance it. Oh, you mean I own it in year 6? Yep. And it's like I didn't lose any tax credit? Yep. That usually has a tendency to win out. And then the real estate market,
Very interesting.
they would like that a lot too.
Tell me a story, like something where somebody came out to you and their bill was like $1,000 a month, and then you saved them a whole bunch of money. And they're like, Jordan, you're the man.
So most commonly what I see is somewhere between $400 to $600 is kind of like the average in the Inland Empire.
Okay.
We will see high summertime where it's 800 to 1,000.
Yeah.
And I just had one. Actually, I'm gonna bring them up. They're right up in Menifee area, and she'd gotten multiple bids. She was like, they had almost given up on solar. Like they were just so apprehensive about it. I hear that story again and again. And I came in and I said, all right, this is what I proposed for you. And they ended up going with a PPA because it worked out for their family. And it's a huge system, like about a little over 30 panels on the roof. And we actually ended up putting 3 batteries in behind it. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot. Well, that's what separates me, is that I actually size the system based on the orientation of the house, based on just the workload, what I see going. And these junior reps, they like to go, oh yeah, well, you just need 1 battery and you're good. And you're like, no, you're going to fill that up in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, what about the rest of the day when Edison devalues that energy by 75%? And I've had batteries at my house for a good portion of the last X number of years at this point. And so I understand the nuances of kind of charging at home, right? Because I have an EV versus, these loads. But in their case, that's really exciting. They're like, I just got a message from them yesterday. And I said, hey, are you guys, they were having a couple issues with some reporting or whatever. I said, hey, are you guys good? They're like, oh yeah, it's kicking butt.
Nice.
It's south facing the roof. And they're like, oh yeah, I love it. I said, now you see why I put 3 batteries behind it.
Great.
Yeah, it was good. But
great case study right there.
We do. Yes. It's the average we see is somewhere between 30 to 40% in savings. We're cutting the bill in half now with these PPAs, as well as the prepaids are really, really great.
So let's talk about Jordan a little bit.
Yeah.
What's your morning routine look like, man?
Man, morning routine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that as an entrepreneur.
How do you keep sane? Because, all the stress and everything, all these numbers coming in at you.
Absolutely.
How do you cope with all that?
I would like to say there's been seasons in my life where I do that better than others. I like to kind of start the morning out. I usually will grab kind of like some caffeine. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I like, just drinking kind of a healthy version of an energy drink. That's debatable. I know that. I know I'm going to get some comments on that. But I like to do that. I like to go outside, kind of stretch, kind of look at the sun, just kind of get a little bit of something in. If I can reset at that point, I'm good.
Yeah.
Listen to maybe something motivational in the morning. That's kind of my goal. My goal is
what do you listen to?
So I like the Eddie. It's the shoot. I'm going to forget right on the spot. I'm going to forget what it is.
We'll come back to it.
But
do you have a favorite book or anything?
Not a specific favorite book. Like I'll listen to my audiobooks.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of like roll through the audiobooks. So I mean, I listened to you don't have to be like like Robert Herjavec's, Shark. I've listened to stuff from him. My favorite leadership books are like John Maxwell, things like that. I've listened to a ton of his books. I got a chance to meet him one time. That was great. But in the morning, I just kind of, I made the determination that I need to have kind of like a little bit of time to myself before the world decides to just interject. And
you know what? I think I saw one time you posted something, don't look at your phone the first 30 minutes of your morning, right?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
Is that what you do?
That's what I do.
And why?
Because notifications and things like that will get in the way. Like I have my alarm that's on my phone, but I've really thought about putting something a little bit more without extra features, right? Just by my nightstand, just to kind of to get me into that routine. And my body has a tendency to wake me up anyway now, at a certain time to begin with. So even if I didn't set an alarm, as long as I didn't have a super late night, usually I'm able to get up just kind of out of my own.
What time?
6:45 to 7:15 has been kind of like the time. It's been starting to tick back a little bit, like around 6:30 sometimes. But if I get it,
because you're getting older.
That's what it is. Apparently,
I get up at 6:30.
I'm going to be 40 this year, so there we go. But that's kind of the morning routine, is making sure that. Oh, thank you. I prefer to have just kind of that time by
Right.
myself
Right.
before. And what I'm intentionally attempting to do, because it doesn't always work, is not have a meeting before 10 a.m. Kind of
Nice.
set this kind of like this target of like everything in the morning. It's like I've realized that my creativity time is really the morning time. After I kind of wake up, like for the first 2 hours, that's when I can do coding, or I can do like figure some stuff, like just like my brain just starts going in different
Right.
directions
Work on your
there.
business.
Exactly, work on the business, and then I can get into the rest of the day.
Right.
That's what I've figured out. I'll go to the gym in the morning, depending on, I'll do that about 3 times a week. I'm attempting to get a little bit better at that. But it's like just this morning, like I ended up jumping on a call, broke my rule on my way down to the gym, and I ended up sitting outside the gym for a good, I'd say 40 plus minutes
Talking on the phone.
on the phone, exactly, before getting in.
See,
And
that's what happens.
and it pulled at me. So it's like real world. It's like you got to be able to have that,
Yeah.
have that boundary, and that's something that my wife has reminded me. It's like, don't let everybody pull at you all the
Right.
time. It's like that email can wait. That, like just like us sitting down and talking right now. It's like knowing that, okay, cool, notifications can be going off. I don't care.
Silent that
It
phone.
can exactly. It can wait. I actually don't have a ringer on my phone,
Right.
and I have not had one on my phone for
You know what? And in a way,
years.
it's stressful.
Noise
It's like
is
being every 5 minutes.
we sit in a room, like whether it's like leadership or whatever it
Yeah.
might be, and every time I hear a phone go off, it's so distracting.
It is.
And I had one of my coworkers that I work with. I had said to her, I said, because her phone was going up all the time, I said, you should just silence your phone. And I believe she had taken my advice on that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, this is cool. Like, you're going to miss notifications. You're going to miss phone calls.
Right.
That's okay. That's fine. Call them back. It's not going to be make or break. And if you silence kind of the noise in
Right.
some level, you get a chance to kind of like reset. So in the morning, that's what I traditionally like to do.
Yeah. Right.
I try to put all devices and some things away at night as much as I can. And then on the weekend, there's been times where I just leave my phone at home, or I just try to take like more of a Sabbath day of just like no technology from
Yeah.
this point to this point. And it's amazing what happens.
What are some of your hobbies?
My hobbies. Okay, hobbies on this. Hobbies. That's great. My hobbies are, they
Golf,
involve
fishing? No.
golf. Yeah, there's golfing, but I actually like when we go and travel and go to Hawaii, I love going and snorkeling.
Yeah.
That's what I traditionally do.
They have good snorkeling in Maui.
Yes, indeed.
We got to go play some golf sometime.
We need to.
Yeah.
We need to. I just talked to one of my clients, and I caught him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm out
Let's
in
do that.
Pachanga." I was like, "Well, you got out." And finally, he's like, "Yeah, I got out."
So let's
and
talk
golfing."
about your speaking gig. What do you
Mhm.
speak on? What do you motivate others on?
Great question. So I have been involved with obviously Power for a good portion of 5 years as one of my strategic partners.
Yes.
And something that I've been very thankful with them has been they have given me kind of a platform to do public speaking, a little kind of like, and I think you described it, it's like TEDx like talks,
Yeah,
basically, of 10, 12 minutes. Usually I don't traditionally go any longer. Sometimes I will do like, they'll give me 20 minutes to do like a presentation to show something. And I've been really in that community. Empower's a platform where where we have a ton of different professionals that are on there, and we work with strategic decentralized partners.
Right.
Meaning like if I have to help a homeowner in Hawaii, I'm doing it on the Power platform, or in Texas, or in Maryland, right? But what I've been very thankful for has been the fact that they have given me kind of a platform to talk and get outside my comfort zone to actually publicly speak. I remember the first time I jumped on stage. It was during like an award essentially, and they were granting they were like going through all the names and stuff, and I was just so shaky.
Yeah.
And what that did was it really helped me get outside of that comfort zone. So I will talk on technology.
Yeah.
I've been able to, I will keynote on talking about that, as well as motivation, right? As conviction, things like that. And I've started to field, requests.
So let's say you're talking about motivation right now.
Yeah.
Motivate someone that's listening right now.
Yeah, sure.
What would you say?
What do I say?
Yeah.
I motivate.
Motivate them.
Well, first of all, get off your phone. No.
That's right. That's right. Get off the phone.
You gotta be able to. Your motivation needs to come
that's
in
it.
in the darkest moments, right? Because everybody's like, "Well, I'll just wait until I'm motivated." Well,
Yeah.
you'll never do it. You need to get out and just go and do it, regardless of how you're feeling.
Yeah.
So if you put something in where you have some type of structure,
Yeah.
that's going to help motivate you. But you're also going to need to put people in your life that will hold you accountable. And if you do that, people will they'll say, "Hey, did you do that?" Right? Like I said, I was going to have a hard conversation on Wednesday. I kept that to that commitment. I knew it was not something I wanted to talk about, but I had to go and have that conversation.
That's right.
Well, then we're doing that. Or like, hey, I said that I was going to go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. I'm going to do that. I'm going to show up on a morning call. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to stay motivated, you need to put people in your life that are going to hold you accountable, and then also put routine in the mix, because that specifically is going to help you.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to start a business of, let's say, just as easy as cleaning solar panels, right? How easy is that? That's very easy, right?
Right.
What would you tell them?
What would I tell them?
Yeah.
I would say, because I have several.
Get insurance, first of all.
Exactly. I've got several partners that do exactly this. They're like, that's not easy. Well, first of all, thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
because
definitely.
they have to be up on the roofs when it's really, really hot, and they're doing everything they need to do. But yeah, you have to.
But that's a business.
It's a business.
Yeah,
You have
start
to get out.
something.
You have to start something. So whatever it is, this is interesting, because you have to figure out what your hobby is that you really like, or something that's a passion. It doesn't have to be a hobby.
Right.
It has to be something that you're passionate about, that you believe you could turn into a business.
Right.
But there's a rule of thumb, and I think Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, said that, is
Yeah.
if you don't make money in the first 2 to 3 years of doing this, it's a hobby. Taking it out back, just you put it aside. It's a hobby. You need to be able to make money. So you can't call a business that constantly loses money that's a
not a
hobby.
business.
It's a hobby,
Yeah.
right? That's exactly right. So you need to put something in place that is going to generate some type of cash flow. Profit is not a dirty word, right? And I think like we want to do right by our clients, sure, but we also there's been times where I've taken jobs that I knew that were just really razor thin, right? And I'm sure you've done this too, where you're just like, and then that client really called you all the time, and you're working for the same amount, but for less, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's so know your worth too. When you're starting a business,
Yes.
know your worth, know your hourly rate, know what jobs that you do want to take, what types of clients that you want. And it's okay to say yes in the beginning, because you want to get that clientele, you want to build that portfolio,
Right.
you want to do things like that. But
So in your opinion, if somebody's starting a side hustle, then to grow it to a business and then grow it to a company, what are the steps and what should they do?
Right. Well, first of all, you have to get some brand awareness out there. It's okay to post some of that stuff on your personal, social, and unless that's going to be your primary outlet, but make sure that you have a website, right? Put some of the foundational things in.
Invest in systems.
Invest in systems.
Right.
A lot of people ask me, because going from IT to 7 figures in solar, and we're going to be doing 8 figures this year, which is really exciting.
That's exciting.
It's great. It's such a weird. It was like, how did you go and how did you do this right so quickly? And the answer was branding and systems.
That's right.
That was part of it. And when I didn't have the systems, I was pulling my hair out, right? But it was the brand. When you start with the brand and you don't look like anybody else, that is the key thing that locks somebody onto you versus something else. You can have all the wizardry and know all the details and know all the stuff. They're not going to remember that. They're going to remember how you made them feel.
Yep.
And what your brand conveys. And if you can get that locked down, you're going to scale a business. So you can start with the product or the service, sure, but you need to attach something else to it to make it go to the next level, which could be a mission. So if you are let's say somebody's selling something or doing handmade things, I don't know, as an example,
example.
But a portion of their proceeds go to save the whales or, something like that. SandCloud, for example, does this really well, where they make these blankets that don't attract sand, but a portion of their proceeds have an ocean component to it, like a cleanup component to it. I remember that because of the type of product.
Yeah.
It's just a blanket.
I know.
That's it. And there's other companies that you buy pairs of socks and they donate another, or a pair of shoes and they donate another pair, right? Those types of companies you remember, and those types of businesses.
There's a lot of money in socks.
In socks.
I was watching. I was watching.
That went a different direction.
I know. When you said socks, it came to me. I was watching Shark Tank the other day, and these guys came out, Shark Tank, and they were trying to get $500,000 for 2% of their business.
This is crazy.
Which
I
is
love
insane.
watching that.
It's just selling socks.
Yeah, it's socks. You're okay.
Soft socks, comfortable.
And that proves that you can resell the same exact thing, but if you have a better not a better trap, but
Yeah.
like a better message,
Yeah,
right? A
they
better
did.
company. That's all it is better brand and just the overall mission
And you know what?
behind
I
it.
think they invested
They invested.
in that
Isn't it crazy?
episode.
Sucks.
Yeah,
Like
sucks, you guys.
What's going on?
All right. So, any
Yeah.
last minute thought before we finish
Yeah.
that you want to tell the audience?
Well, first of all, follow me on social if Jordan Shaw Official.
Yeah, tell everyone
Yeah.
where can they follow you.
Absolutely. So if you want to follow me on social, I'm obviously dropping just stories about my life. It's not just all business, not just all inspiration.
Yeah.
I post pictures of my daughter who's turning 4 this year,
Oh,
Lexi. Yeah. So
cute.
like sometimes I put that in there. I just like, oh yeah, you want to go solar because here's my daughter. No, I'm just kidding.
I gotta
She's
feed.
closed
I gotta
deals
feed
for
my
me.
daughter.
She's
Buy
coming
a
in the
system
middle of
for
a
me. I have to feed my daughter.
No, but yeah,
Just
but
kidding.
if you want to follow me, go to Jordan
Yeah.
Shaw Official. That's where all my handles are.
Okay.
And yeah, I look forward to if you want to, book
Your
me.
website.
My website, yep. My business website is shawenergyconsulting.com
Okay.
or just jordanshawofficial.com if you want to look me up for maybe booking a speaking engagement for your sales team, just maybe branding, like whatever, it might be just like inspiration and all that.
Really, that's awesome, you guys.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, I really enjoyed listening to your story. Got to know you a little bit more.
Well, I want to thank you too. Thank you so much for having me here. Just everything that you do with
You're
Temecula
welcome.
Valley Business Network. I always feel like it's part of just a family when I'm there.
Thank
we,
you so
we,
much.
We constantly have new people coming in, and that's something that's very different in any networking group that I've been a part of. Is we're just
I'm
all
glad
like,
you see that.
yeah, I do.
Thank you, Jordan.
Like I've been to some networking groups, and like it feels a certain way, but when you come into TBVN, you're like, okay, this is like
You're definitely a valuable member of our group.
I appreciate that
I
so
really
much.
appreciate you so much and for being on my podcast. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. What is your story? And we'll see you on the next one. Take care.